Okay, so good afternoon everyone. Myself Dr. Zainab Panwala, class 1 specialist from psychiatry department. So I think 2 to 3 weeks before I think dementia पे आप लोगों का lecture था, तो बस today we are going for test type like MCQ, the MCQ type exam. So let's start with MCQ. The first question is, which of the following are reversible causes of dementia? So your options are Alzheimer's disease, hypothyroidism, vascular dementia, vitamin B12 deficiency, Pick's phallus, or toxic dementia. So these are the options. So you have to tell me the reversible causes. It can be multiple, more than one answer can be there. Okay, so let's discuss about this question. So this is the mnemonic for to remember the reversible causes of dementia. The mnemonic is dementia itself, and D stands for delirium, which is most common cause of reversible cause of dementia. E means emotion like depression or endocrine disease. M means metabolic disturbances, any hypokalemia, hyperkalemia, sodium potassium abnormality. E for ear and eye impairment, maybe due to sensation deficiency or impairment. And for nutritional disorders, any nutrition disorder. T for tumor, toxicity and trauma to head. I means infectious disorder, and A is alcohol and arteriosclerosis. So the answer of our first question is reversible causes: hypothyroidism, vitamin B12 deficiency, hydrocephalus, toxic dementia. So these are the answers. Now the second question, which is the most common cause of dementia in adults? Options are Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, dementia due to traumatic brain injury, and metabolic cause. So answer is Alzheimer's disease, which is the most common cause. Let's see about its prevalence, incidence and epidemiology. So at the age of 65 to 70 years, it is 5 to 8% prevalence of dementia. And Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause of dementia worldwide, which is 50 to 75%, followed by dementia with Lewy bodies, which is 15 to 35%, and the list is vascular dementia, which is 5 to 20%. And as you can see, as the age increases, the prevalence of dementia incidence increases. At the age of 75 to 80 years, it is 15 to 20%, and at the age of 85, almost 40 to 50%, almost half of the patients develop dementia. Which of the following is the feature of Lewy body dementia? So now the Lewy body dementia is one type of dementia, and your options are recurrent visual hallucination, sensitivity to neuroleptics, fluctuation in cognition, features of Parkinson, none or all. Okay, so let's talk about Lewy body dementia. So Lewy body dementia is kind of dementia in which patients are suffering from visual hallucination. They suffer recurrent visual hallucination. They are sensitive to neuroleptics like antipsychotics. They are sensitive to those, and fluctuation in cognition is also seen. So answer is all. Okay. So fourth question is, which is not seen in Hakim's triad or Adam's triad? Options are dementia, urinary incontinence, gait disturbance, or personality changes. So what is Hakim's triad, Adam's triad? So it is usually seen in normal pressure hydrocephalus. Triad is dementia, typically subcortical type of dementia, gait instability and urinary incontinence. This is the triad, which is known as Hakim's triad or Adam's triad. Along with that, they walk with feet stuck to floor. Symptoms progress over weeks to months, and CT shows ventricular enlargement with no evidence of cortical atrophy. And this is the MRI change. You can see the ventricular enlargement. And most important test to diagnose the normal pressure hydrocephalus is therapeutic lumbar puncture. So on removing large amount of CSF and examine patient's gait and cognitive functions. This is how you can diagnose normal pressure hydrocephalus. And the treatment is, one of the option is surgery, which is ventriculoperitoneal shunt. You can apply shunt, may correct if patients improve within minutes to hours of removal of 30 to 40 ml of spinal fluid. And trauma or subarachnoid hemorrhage. Cause is derangement of CSF hydrodynamics. So answer for this question is, which is not seen in Hakim's triad. So personality change is the answer, which is not seen, and above 3 it is seen in Hakim's triad. Now the next question is, which brain area is involved in delirium? So options are RAS means reticular activating system, option B is thalamus, C is limbic system, and D is HPA axis. So the answer of this question is reticular activating system, which is involved in delirium. Which of the following term is not used in delirium? So these are the options. Other name, in short, other name of delirium. So options are A, ICU psychosis, acute cerebral insufficiency, chronic confusional state, metabolic encephalopathy, acute brain failure, and acute organic syndrome. Then the question is which is not used for delirium. As you all know, delirium is an acute condition. So option C, which is chronic confusional state, it is not a chronic condition, it is acute. So all the other options are acute except C, which is chronic confusional state, and it is the answer of these questions. So let's see other name of delirium properly. Many terms are used to describe these disorders like acute confusional state, acute organic syndrome, acute brain failure, acute brain syndrome, acute cerebral insufficiency, exogenous psychosis, which are all these acute in origin, metabolic encephalopathy, organic psychosis, ICU psychosis, toxic encephalopathy, and toxic psychosis, these are all for delirium. So the seventh question, which is not clinical feature of delirium? Options are clouding of consciousness, sundowning, convulsion, and agitation. So answer question is which is not seen. So delirium, of course, is an acute condition. Clouding of consciousness it is seen. Sundowning means patient's symptoms start as the sun downs, as the night. And convulsion is not a feature of delirium. And agitation, of course, patients are agitated in delirium. So answer of this question is convulsion. C, convulsion is not necessarily seen in delirium. So our next question, pseudodementia is seen in which of the following? So options are hypothyroidism, vascular dementia, normal pressure hydrocephalus, and depression. So pseudodementia is usually seen in depression. In actual dementia, the patient is unaware of his symptoms, and the relatives usually complains that he has some complaints of forgetfulness and all that. In depression, patient himself come and complains about his forgetfulness. कि मैं ये भूल जाता हूँ, वो भूल जाता हूँ. So which is known as pseudodementia. So it is usually seen in depression. So next question, what is black patch delirium? So black patch delirium usually seen after ophthal surgeries. Ophthal operations के बाद patients को black patch लगा दिया जाता है to cover the eyes to prevent the exposure. So this black patch, after application of black patch, the patient usually they have sensory deprivation. Sensory deprivation, the visual sensations are lost, so therefore they develop delirium-like symptoms. And next question, what is occupational delirium? So in occupational delirium, it is usually in delirium, the patient gestures as if he is doing his occupation. For example, if patient is driver by occupation, तो वो patient delirium में है तो वो driving की gestures करेगा as if वो driving कर रहा है, या कुछ भी और occupation होगा तो वो लोग जैसे कुछ कटिंग का है, जैसे वेजिटेबल कटिंग या ऐसा कोई ऑक्यूपेशन है तो वो किचन जैसे करता है, ऐसा हॉस्पिटल में भी डिलीरियम में पेशेंट ऐसे ऐसे जेस्चर्स करेगा एज इफ ही इज डूइंग हिज वर्क. सो दिस इज व्हिच इज नोन एज ऑक्यूपेशनल डिलीरियम. सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, which population group has highest prevalence of delirium? Options are younger age group, open heart surgery patients, hip fracture surgery patients, and general medical impairments. So as you all know, younger patients, they don't have that much, they don't have delirium, right? Like in open heart surgery, hip fracture in general. So let's see one by one their incidence and prevalences. So you can see from this table, the maximum 16 to 34, maximum in prevalence of delirium is seen in cardiac surgery patient, which is 16 to 34. Next is terminally ill cancer patient, 23 to 28, then orthopedic surgery, 33. So answer, and institutionalized elderly patients, which is 44. So answer of this question is, among these options, answer is open heart surgery patients. Now, next question, which of the following drug is not used for symptomatic management of delirium? Okay, so option is antipsychotics, anticholinergic, benzodiazepines, and melatonin. As you all know, which is not used? The question is not used. So antipsychotic can be used in low dose, haloperidol, and low dose antipsychotic can be used. Benzodiazepines are the drug of choice. Melatonin can also be used for sleep, but anticholinergic itself causes delirium. Therefore, anticholinergics are clearly contraindicated in delirium. So the answer of this question is anticholinergic, sorry. Not use anticholinergic. So you can see this medication associated with delirium. First of all, see anticholinergic, diphenhydramine and all this, promethazine, all these can cause, and antidepressants, TC, tricyclics and SSRIs sometimes can lead to delirium. Next is sedatives, benzodiazepines, analgesics, anti-inflammatory, antihypertensives, beta blockers, SE inhibitors, all these antibiotics, quinolone and macrolides, and anticonvulsant barbiturates. So next question. Which drug is not used in treatment of dementia? Options are donepezil, memantine, rivastigmine and rosuvastatin. So answer of the C, not used in the treatment of dementia. The first three, donepezil, memantine and rivastigmine, are anticholinesterase inhibitors. These three are used for the treatment of dementia, but rosuvastatin, which is HMG coenzyme reductase inhibitor, which is not used in treatment of dementia. So answer of this question is rosuvastatin. Next question, mechanism of action of memantine. Options: A, acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, NMDA receptor antagonist, acetylcholine reuptake inhibitors, and dopamine receptor agonist. So the answer of this question, memantine, is specifically, it is different from other anti-dementia drug. Memantine is the only drug which has mechanism of NMDA receptor antagonist. Others are donepezil, which is acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, but memantine is NMDA receptor antagonist. So it is unique in this category. Answer of this question is B, NMDA receptor antagonist. Next question, which of the following is transmissible cause of dementia? Answers: ApoE, PSS1, prion protein, or neurofibrillary tangles. So transmissible cause is prion protein. So prion protein is a human gene encoding for the major prion protein, PRP, also known as CD230. Expression of the protein is most predominant in the nervous system but occurs in many other tissues throughout the body. The protein can exist in multiple isoforms. The normal PRPC, protease resistant forms, disease-causing PRPC means CRAP-P, and isoform located in mitochondria. The misfolded version of PSCS is associated with variety of cognitive disorders and neurodegenerative diseases such as in animals like bovine scrapie, bovine spongiform encephalopathy, BSE, mad cow, also known as mad cow disease, feline spongiform encephalopathy, transmissible mink encephalopathy, exotic ungulate encephalopathy, chronic wasting disease which affects cervix, and in humans, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, CJD, fatal familial insomnia, FFI, Justman-Stroessler-Skinner syndrome, and Kuru, which is most common Kuru, and variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. So these are transmissible causes of dementia. Thank you.